This is actually my third episode of my food conspiracy series, and today we've got a very special episode because we finally get to hear the truth about the fast food industry, but this time around from fast food insiders, from people who actually work at the fast food restaurants or fast food chains. We're gonna get to hear their deepest, most disturbing confessions. There's something very creepy about knowing the secrets behind the stuff that we literally put in our body. Watch this video at your own risk, but I just want to warn you that you might finish this video not thinking the same way about food. So before we go into our first confession, I just want to say a huge thank you for supporting this series. If you want to watch an episode 4, please don't forget to give this video a like. It's kind of annoying, but it does let me know whether you guys want me to carry on with this series or not. The usual big disclaimer before we get into the video. Obviously, I try to find reliable sources for every story that I'm going to put in this video, but I just want to say that I cannot confirm or deny any of the things that I'm going to put in this video. Whether you want to believe them or not, that's entirely up to you. All I'm doing here is sharing some seriously disturbing stuff. So our first confession is about this place called Sonic, which is an American drive-in restaurant. I've never actually been there, but this is what one of their employees had to say about working there. I worked at Sonic in high school. Do not ever get the grilled chicken. Sure, it's grilled from a frozen chicken patty. After he was cooked, he was then thrown into a steam broiler to keep it warm. The rule book said replace them every 2 hours, but my manager would yell at me if I pulled them out earlier than 4 hours. After 2 hours, the chicken becomes hard and rubbery and tastes like crap. Besides that, the worst thing about that place was the floors were greasy as F, and even proper working shoes didn't help prevent slipping. Yikes, that is seriously disgusting, and it's also so incredibly scary because chicken is one of those foods that makes so many people sick. Like, imagine the chicken just sitting there for hours and hours, like just getting all this like bacteria or whatever you can find at a kitchen that is probably gross because it's just sitting there. And then we'd go to the restaurant, place our order for a chicken burger or a chicken sandwich, whatever it is, and we'd have no idea on what actually happened to that piece of chicken. That is seriously disturbing. This next one, Starbucks. You guys know how much I love this place. I used to go to this place every single day to get coffee. That was until I realized how much money I was actually wasting and I started getting coffee at home, but I still did it for a long time. So you know how much it actually pains me to share this story because I don't want to believe in it, because this is seriously messed up. So on this thread on Reddit, this guy you claim to have been a worker, an employee at Starbucks, had this story to share. I worked at a Starbucks where they allowed a full-on roach infestation. They were everywhere. The pastry case, in the storage, around the dry powders, but the worst was I saw one, and just to make this clear, this 100% happened, crawl out of the espresso spout in the machines. As employees, we were on the front line trying to defend our location, even though a huge majority thought it was disturbing. Eventually, one of our regulars put in a complaint to the health department. It was about the time I put in my 2 weeks notice and my manager blamed me specifically for it. I honestly didn't care. I'm not even one of those people who's incredibly disgusted by roaches. Like, obviously when I go to my coffee shop or when I go to just Starbucks, I would prefer if there's no bugs inside my cup of coffee. What I find truly disturbing about this story is the fact that I've actually lived alone for a few years and I do my own cleaning and I film a lot of food videos and I deal with food a lot and I clean everything just myself. I'm not even like a clean freak. I think my motto is always, why do it today when you can do it tomorrow? And I've never had an infestation of anything, like no bugs, no flies, absolutely nothing. What really grosses me out is what kind of practices led up to the point where they had a roach infestation. Like, how bad does the cleaning have to be in order for roaches to live in like your food, in your coffee, in your products? I don't think I want to know. Just keeping it real. This next one is about another restaurant that I've never actually been to, and that is Arbys. And this is so disturbing, guys, that there's no way I can prepare you for this, so I'm just gonna share what the employee at Arbys had to say. I worked at Arbys in high school, and the facility and everything was pretty standard for cleanliness. However, as with most restaurants, people can be gross, and there's not much you can do to get away from that. Well, there was this girl who worked there, and she messed around with one of the guys who made the sandwiches. During a few minutes without customers, they sneaked back to the supply room and back there. I was cleaning up the front counter, getting ready to go home, when the drive-through beep came on, so the girl rushed back to the window to take the order, and he hopped up to the slicer to start making the food. After the blissfully unaware customer drove off with the meal, I heard him say to the girl, "You know what? I just remembered, I didn't wash my hands." I am truly speechless. What the hell is wrong with people? Like, seriously. And to me, the scariest thing about this one is that there was absolutely nothing that the restaurant could have done to prevent this. It doesn't matter how much money or effort Arbys would put into being clean, because at the end of the day, it comes down to the employees just messing up and just doing completely disgusting stuff at the restaurant. How do we even move on to the next one? This next confession is short, but it paints a picture very, very vividly. I saw a cook at IHOP f an omelette and put the wrong sauce on it. He then just washed it off the sink and then tossed it back in the grill. First of all, IHOP, how dare you come for my brand like that, because this is 100% something that I would do. Now, this is also something that I would be 100% disgusted by if I went into a restaurant and I paid $20 for an omelette and then someone washed it on the sink and then still served it to me. Excuse me, waiter, my omelette? It's wet. IHOP, whatever it's called this week, please don't wash the freaking omelets. Just don't. I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we'd rather have it with the wrong sauce than have it wet and washed off. Probably not surprising to you guys, but I actually found many confessions from people who worked at Taco Bell. Some of them didn't really feel right, and to be honest with you, I didn't quite believe that they were real, but two of them really stood out to me, and that's what I'm gonna share with you. I work at Taco Bell, and you do not want to see how the meat comes into the store. The meat we use for the tacos and other things of the sort comes in big plastic bags labeled suitable for human consumption. They smell absolutely awful until we put the seasoning in. Yeah, don't go to Taco Bell. First of all, you sound like my mom, and second of all, you cannot stop me from going to Taco Bell. But if you thought this was bad, let me just read you a different confession from someone else who also claimed to work at Taco Bell. Taco Bell saves ground beef cooked the day before until it runs out. I'm well aware that I'm probably the only one here, but this last one doesn't actually bother me that much. Taco Bell isn't the most expensive fast food place, so I think when you're going in, you sort of know what you're going in for. Obviously, I do love Taco Bell, but I also don't think it's that weird to save food from one day to the next one. I think that's something that we all do at home, and if I was making like filling for a taco and I made way too much of it, I would definitely save it for the next day. So that doesn't really gross me out, and I know that I'm probably just speaking for myself and everyone else is gonna say that this is gross, but let me know what you think in the comment section. This next one got me so incredibly mad, because when I go into a fast food place and when I spend my money, and trust me, I spend most of my money on food, I want my money to be worth. And I hate when I feel like I'm being tricked. Even though I've never been to this place, Little Caesars, I take pizza very seriously, and this is a pizza place. This is what a Little Caesars employee had to say on this anonymous forum online. I worked at Little Caesars in Washington. The cheese pizza costs $5.99, while the pepperoni pizza costs $5.99. The manager told me that it's that way because the customers are informed that the more cheese is added onto the cheese pizza. This was a blatant lie, as we put equal amounts of cheese on all pizzas. The cheese is added before any other toppings. How dare you, Little Caesars, trick me like that? Because I'm the kind of person who almost always gets just the cheese pizza with extra cheese, and I've been suspicious that I'm not actually getting extra cheese and it's just the regular amount and you're just getting my money for nothing. I've done this experiment with Domino's and I've always been suspicious that I'm paying the extra 35 cents or £1 or whatever it is and not getting actual extra cheese. And while I don't have the confirmation that this does happen at Domino's, I've got the confirmation that this does actually happen, and I've always been suspicious of this. I knew it. I think the real scary thing about this is that sometimes you go into a restaurant or a fast food place or a bakery and you order some food, you order a Diet Coke or a drink without sugar, and imagine if you've got a health condition and you can't actually have sugar, or you order something that is gluten-free because you can't actually eat gluten, and you're 100% trusting these people, these workers, these fast food chains with your life, because if they mess up, because most of the times, let's keep it real, no one really cares, we are actually putting our life in danger. And I know it sounds very dramatic, but it's seriously scary. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I find this, like, I don't like to think too much about this because it makes me never want to leave my house and never want to buy food from anywhere. I'd never actually heard about this restaurant before, but a worker from this restaurant called Taco Cabana shared very disturbing images of what it's like to work at this fast food chain, and this is seriously disturbing stuff, and I'm just gonna read to you what this person had to say. Our manager is really stingy when it comes to throwing away food. He will keep leftover eggs from breakfast and use it the next day, and if any of the food on the line looks dry or is starting to look thick, he'll just throw a little water in it and there you go, fresh beans. Sometimes we receive the truck full of veggies. The tomatoes are really squishy and brown. I work at Taco Cabana, and luckily for you guys, they are only located in Texas. Wow. This video is all the reasons why I've got trust issues, because I love fast food. Fast food is delicious, but then you hear these horror stories, and obviously we can't confirm if this person actually works at this taco restaurant, but it's disturbing to hear, and just the thought that he might be real and he might be one of these places that we go to every single day to get our food is mind-blowing. You'd probably expect me to find a lot of confessions about KFC, but shockingly, there weren't that many stories about people who worked at KFC. I don't really know why. Are they keeping their employees from talking after they stop working there? Conspiracy theory? I don't know. At KFC, we were supposed to change the fryer oil every couple of days. Our penny pinching manager had us change it every couple of weeks. We just skim off the floaters and cover it at night. Oh! Did I actually read this right? Skim the floaters. That is something that I never ever wanted to hear about any food restaurant. At this point, I'm secretly choosing to believe that all of this stuff is made up as a defense mechanism, because imagine that your product is fried chicken and just fried stuff and you won't change the oil for weeks and weeks. That is terrifying, and pretty sure you can actually get diseases from that. Now, in all seriousness, I was actually thinking about this one, and I always think that going into a fast food place and judging their fries is always a good indicator whether the fast food is going to be good or not. So take McDonald's for example. They're known for having the craziest rules in the kitchen. Everything is super tight, so many rules, everything is very much controlled, and their French fries are probably some of the best. I think the McDonald's fries is just a universal thing. They are just the best ones. They just taste great and better than most fast food places. So maybe because they've got all these rules and they've got so many people with their eyes on them, they can't actually reuse these oils over and over again, and that's why their fries actually taste amazing. And then all these other fast food places, when you go there and you taste the fries and you're like, they're just not quite at the McDonald's levels. Maybe you're eating fries that have been fried in oil that is so old from weeks and weeks ago. It's disturbing, but I actually think this would be a good video idea, so we should do some investigation on fries from fast food places and see which ones are like the best ones. Let me know if that's something you'd like to watch. As usual, don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and get my notifications on, especially when I've got these series videos like the conspiracy food series, so you guys don't miss out on future episodes. Getting that little bell pressed is like the best way to know when there's a next episode. I think on the next video we should put to test some fast food rumors, because there's all these like myths and crazy stories about fast food places and items, and we should actually go into the restaurants and see if it's real or not. Let me know if that's something you'd like to watch, or if you've got any suggestions for fast food conspiracy videos, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. That would mean a lot to me, that you give me ideas of things that you actually want to watch and that you think would be scary but like sort of cool to talk about. I think that's about it for this video, guys. I love you guys. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.